Bonjour. Today we get to move on to another verb type, which is exciting. Um, I hope that you are all doing well and that you have enjoyed the progress so far. Prior to this, we were working entirely on VAI verbs. And if you recall, that is verb, animate, intransitive. And the intransitive means there's no transfer of action between a person or anyone or anything. So again, VAI verbs are complete sentences as they are found in the dictionary in their root form. The ween, third person, he or she, is built into the verb, and they exist in present tense. And there's also no object or person that receives the action. So they're entirely descriptive. It's just, what is he or she doing? Wisne, he is eating. Wisniwag, they are eating. So congratulations, we have passed that. We've done them in A form, B form, positive, and negative. That means statements and statements. Anyway, let's see here. And now we're going to be talking about VTI verbs. And I love this verb type because it gives you a lot of ability to move in the language. There's a lot you can do with these. And again, in the dictionary, if you're looking for a verb to use, they will always indicate what kind of verb it is with a little image or icon next to it with an acronym that says either VAI, VTI, etc. So VTI verbs is verb transitive inanimate. So that means there is a transfer of action from a being to an it, from a being to an inanimate thing. If you think of it, you could think verb, and then the T could be like verb to and it. Some people might find that helpful. So instead of just wisene, we know this time that he is eating a sandwich. VTI verbs do not have a person built into them, so you always have to add a person unless you're using them in command form. They exist in their root form, the way you would see them in the dictionary, as a command to one person. So the word for eat it, you can hear that it in the sentence, eat it is the word mijin. Mijin. Eat it. So you could look at someone like your kid, and let's say they're not eating their sandwich, and you would say mijin as a command referring to the food, or you would say mijin bitunigan, eat your sandwich. Mijin ge bitunigan, to put the possessive on there. Eat the sandwich, eat your sandwich. And it's directed at only one singular person, the form that's found in the dictionary. If I want to describe that Joe, this guy Joe, is eating a sandwich, I would have to say Joe, oh, mi jin, be to niggin. And the O is the letter that indicates ween, or he or she, and that makes it he is eating it, the sandwich. The sandwich is the it. And you can describe more than one person doing this. You can describe just one person. Like, for example, over here, the AI verb would just be like agindaso. He is reading. We don't know what he's reading. We just know that he is reading just as an activity. You see someone in the corner with something and, oh, what's he doing? He's reading. Agindaso. But here, if you want to be more specific about what they are reading, you could say agindan, odagindan, he is reading it, maznagan, a book. So again, we need our O. The verb is agindan. I have to expand that A. And since it's O and then we've got a vowel here, it follows the same pattern as like when you put gin in front of a verb that starts with a vowel, you use, instead of ge, you use gid. So it's ode, agendan, and then a book is called Maznayigan. And this is just the introduction. You don't have to memorize the stuff yet. I'm just trying to give an example of how these two verb types are different. So agendaso would be the VAI verb he is reading. He is reading a book would be odegendan, and you hear that again in both words. There's similarity in those morphemes. Maznayigan, the book. So yeah, our other two verb types, if you recall, are VTAs, verb transitive animate, so an interaction between more than one living being, or more than one being considered living. So like bread is considered alive, so you would use this kind of verb type to talk about eating bread, but we'll get there. And then VIIs are similar to English adjectives. They describe something. So like the book is black. Mazanayigan Makadewa. It's black. Or the blanket is soft. Wabuyan, the blanket. Nuka, it is soft. And these are it is statements. It is black, it is soft, it is heavy, it is light, it is wet, it is dry, and so on and so forth. So no transfer action. Person to an it. So now we're going to be focusing on the person to an it. And I love this verb type because there's so much you can do with it. Like previously, we were just describing people doing things, but not anything specific about what they're doing, like what they're eating, what they're reading, what they're playing with, etc. So now we're going to be talking about this. And if you've noticed in some of those additional like canned phrases lessons in transparent language, like the red and green choices, those have objects or subjects involved. So there are a lot of VTI verbs that are used in those red and green choices, like don't break it. That's a red choice, that kind of thing. Treating toys nicely is a green choice because, and you're using a VTI because toys is the it in the subject, or in the sentence, sorry. So anyway, if you recall from our VAI lessons, we had VAI paradigms, and we have VTI paradigms. I still use my own to reference when I need to. So now you're going to use your VTI paradigms to reference. So let's see. Where am I in my notes? Okay. The very first thing that I loved learning about was that there are three types of VTI verbs, and you can tell what kind they are based on their endings. This is super helpful when you're like reading or listening to someone and you hear the ending of the verb and you're like, oh, I know what that is. VTI ones, and they'll be listed in the dictionary like that. VTI one. These verbs end in an, or un, in their root form. They are the most common, and so the highest number of VTI verbs end in this ending, and that you'll find in the dictionary. VTI two verbs end in un. These are the second most common verbs. So like be doing, bring it, or I can't think of anything at the moment. This is like again done, read it, be doing, bring it, and VTI three verbs. They end in, and these are extremely uncommon. There's only like two of them. We have me jin, eat it, and nadin, go get it, or yeah, nadin, go get it, fetch it, that kind of thing. Oh yeah, other VTI twos, un endings be like attune, put it, mamoon, pick it up. a pugadoon, throw it, that kind of thing. So these are our three verb types. There are a couple outliers every now and then that have a different ending and are less common, but you don't really have to worry about them. And you'll see them in the dictionary anyway, and they'll be marked as a VTI. But these are our three types. The endings play a role in how they conjugate, which is why you'll want your paradigms. So let's go over these. They follow a similar rule when attaching pronouns to the front as as VAI verbs. So like anytime you attach neen, like if it starts with a vowel, you're going to use nind or in. Or if you're talking about gin, you'd use gid in front of a vowel starting word. Nin in front of G beginning verbs, and ZH words, etc. And then now we're adding ween, and anyone that is like ween or weenawa is going to, like, ween is some form of O and then the verb. So in front of a consonant, it's just O. And in front of a vowel, starting verb, it is od. And that's that simple. If it's weenawa, where you're talking about more than one he, she, or it, wa, like in our VAI verbs, these were just the verb with the word or the word part wug on the end, like we siniwug, they are eating. Now we have to add our ween on the front, the verb, and then the ween suffix, like our other plural persons, and that would be in VTI paradigms, wa, o, let's say like onadin awa, they are getting it. Onijinawa, they are eating it, etc. Like they're eating a pizza, for example. So these are present in our VTI verb paradigms. And we're going to be focusing in this lesson on VTI1s, the kind that end with AN. I'm going to share my screen real quick. See here, if you can see this. Whenever you add an AN to an A form positive, like a simple sentence, you extend the AN at the end. So if the root word was gishkijan with a single AN, but as soon as you add a person, like I am cutting it, it's nin gishkijan, and the AN expands to an AAN. And that's probably the most complicated thing that you have to worry about with VTI verbs, in my opinion. And again, here's our ween. O gishkijan. O is the pronoun word part indicating ween. And then if you notice here in the parentheses, if you're talking about more than one object, you have something called plural agreement, where the verb is pluralized as well as having multiple objects, so that way there is consistency. So if you are cutting two pieces of paper, you would, instead of saying gigish kijan, you are cutting it, you would say gigish kijanan nish maznaiganan, and that extra un on the end of maznaigan, oh, that's book, yeah, maznaigansan, that extra un on the end of maznaigans makes it more than one piece of paper. So those are there. And then we have a paradigm that we follow here for building a sentence: person plus verb plus object. And I'm going to stop sharing so I can show you on my board here. And everything is like in that document, but I always found that having a bit of verbal and visual explanation is helpful. So if we're looking at our VTI paradigms, or in A form, again, remember the A form is a simple sentence. It is an independent clause. It stands on its own as a sentence, like he is eating it. But B form is where it's like compound sentences with dependent clauses, like when he is eating it, he is happy, that kind of thing. So A form, it would be helpful if you could pull up your VTI paradigm document, which is in the Google Classroom under the VTI introduction topic. Let's see. So A form VTI, and then we have mean, which is I or me, and this is ne, some form of ne plus the verb. And then if you have a plural object, then you have on the end. Gien is you, singular, ge, some form of ge, verb, and then on. And in the classroom, I added a document of a bunch of just VTI1s and then a different document of VTI2s and 3s for your reference, especially with words that you might find useful for everyday work in the classroom or working with kids. And I thought that might be simple to reference if you wanted to. And then wean, we'll just work with singular people for now. She or he, and that's some form of O plus the verb plus the A and plural agreement. So we're gonna start with that. And let's go person plus verb plus object. So let's say with the VTI1 that ends in AN, we're going to talk about look for it. Nandawabandan. The verb is, let's start with what we know. The verb, search for it. Nandawabandan. So let's say you're in the classroom and someone can't find their pencil. Or no, wait, that's an animate verb. Sorry, or animate noun. Someone can't find something important, like a toy or a shape that they might need for a lesson. You might look at them and say Nandawabandan, search for it. Nandawabandan, that's the command form. So what are they searching for? Let's just say book. Search for the book. Object is mazin gun. So again, right now it's in command form because there's no person on the front. So Nandawabandan mazne search for the book. But now we want to add a person to the front. And who's doing it? Let's say I am doing it. I am searching for the book. So two things have to happen. We have to put some form of neen in front. It starts with an N, so that can either be ne or in. So Inundawabandan. That sounds kind of awkward. We're gonna use ne. Ninundawabandan, the second thing that has to happen is the A expands to a ah, and then an N. Ninundawabandan good. I am searching for the book. So that, I hope that makes sense. Now, if you want to add a time tense, I was searching for the book. The time goes in here with a dash. And it attaches to the person in dash. So let's do I found the book. That's past tense. It's not I am finding it right now. I found it. And what is our past tense sound? That's right. Gi. Gi indicates it already happened in the past. So our verb is mikkan. Find it. Mikkan. That would be like, instead of saying search for it, you're maybe a little frustrated and you're like, find your keys. Like mikkan bikaigan. I think about bikaigan. I think that's the word for key. I actually have to look that up. Mikkan, find it. And let's say our object again is the book. So mikkan, find the book. Mikkan mazanayagan. Mazanayagan. And that's a great command form sentence. Find the book. Makkan mazanayagan. And again, it's only a command to one person. That's the way the verb is found in the dictionary. I'll show you at a later date how to do a command to a group of people, like when you're telling them all to find it. Now we add a person at a time because we found it. We're not finding it right now. So our person is I or me, and that's ne, some form of ni. But since our time tense starts with the letter G, gi, it's going to be ningi or ingi. Nin, nin, gi. Two things happen. We're adding a person. Gi, mikkan. And our an ending expands to or extends to aan. Ingi, mikkan, mazanayagan. I did find the book, or I found it. Making sense so far? I hope it's fun. I hope it is. So if we want to say, I did not find the book, we now have a Gawin statement that we have to work with, and that expands to, we have to all the similar rules as with VAI verbs. We have to start with Gawin, and I'm just gonna write G period and abbreviate Gawin, person, time, and then we need the negation because Gawin works together with seen or with C to make something not happen. But in VTI verbs, because there is the possibility of adding a plural suffix, instead of C on the end, we're adding seen. And that looks like, or some form of seen, because sometimes it's zine, if you recall from VAI verbs. So like if it ends with an N sound, then it's not seen, it's zine, but that's just like, it's easier to say rule. Trying to say mikkansin is hard. Your tongue kind of automatically makes a Z sound. So I'm gonna erase this to give myself some more room. The thing with negative statements is you do not extend the an. It's just it's short. So when something is not happening or has not happened, think of it like you're being kind of clipped or like abrupt with how you're talking. Gawin mikkansin, I did not find it. Or gawin nigi mikkansin, I did not find it. So we're gonna put our, I lost my marker. Where did it go? Sorry, a little scatterbrain today. So we have our gawin, person, in time tense, gi, mikkan, and it ends with an N, so it's mikkan and zine. And our gawin works together with the zine to make this not happen. And then of course, mazin again. To give you an idea, like gawin and mikkan zine mazinayagan, I did not find the book. Now, to give you an idea of what it might look like if you have that plural agreement, I was talking about. Let's use. I'm running out of colors here, guys. I guess I'll stick with purple. Okay. So I did not find the books. I want to be talking about more than one book. Doesn't matter how many, just more than one. So now we're gonna add mazinaigan an extra an, but this plural needs to agree with the verb. The verb has to be descriptive of trying to find or of finding or of not finding more than one item. So gawin inki mekanzin an mazinaigan an. And it seems like a lot right now, but the pattern is really consistent, which is helpful. And you know what? If you forget to pluralize something, so what? The purpose is to convey meaning, and you're a learner, and it's okay. I make mistakes when I talk a lot. You've heard me make several mistakes already. And so just be patient with yourself, be gentle with yourself, work through the practice lessons and everything. And just try to practice, as much as you can. One thing that I do is phrases that I'm trying to memorize, I will record on my recording app on my phone, which comes with iPhones. I don't know if it comes with other phones, but you can also use the video recorder in your camera app. And I'll just state the sentence in Ojibwe, and then I'll say the English, and then I'll say the Ojibwe again, and then I just listen to it on my way to work. And I would do that a lot when I was first trying to memorize and expand my vocabulary and memorize sentence structure and paradigms and stuff. So I hope that maybe is something that is helpful for you guys. Let's see here, looking at my notes. So let's do a wean sentence first. So trying to think of a verb here. Trace it. Nabibian. So let's say we're gonna do person plus time dash verb plus object. So in this case, I want to say he is tracing his name. And again, if it's present tense, everything exists in present tense already. So you don't have to add anything for present tense. So we're gonna cross that out. And let's say he is tracing letters. So we have to think about what we know. The verb for trace it, we're gonna plug that in. You could also make a little verb, a word box over here. That's what I would do when I was learning. But the word for trace it is nabi be un, and that's the command to one person. Nabi be un, trace it. Let's see. Ikidoinets. A word is ikidoin, and then we use that diminutive ending, like ikidoinets. Could technically mean tiny word, but we use it to refer to a letter. It could go win its. So it could do in its, and then the person is he or she, and that is ween. And ween is indicated by some form of O. It starts with an N, and N is a consonant. So the form of O in front, or the form of we, is just O. And because we added a person and it's positive, we have to expand the un to on. So onabibian, ikidoinates, he is tracing a letter. So that sentence works, but we want him to trace more than one letter. So we need a plural, and we need that plural to agree, because onabibian, ikidoinates an, we know there's more than one letter, but he has to trace more than one letter. And so the word for trace needs un as well. Onabibianan, ikidoinatesan. Kind of has this like nice alliteration or rhyming pattern to it. I like it. All right, let's see here. What if we want to make it negative? He is not tracing the letters. He's off goofing around over there. We would need gawin with some form of scene. And I'm gonna have to give myself more room, so. Gawin. Person is he or she. Oh. Nabibian. Nabibian. And we don't expand it because it's a Gawin statement. We're clipped, we're short, we're abrupt. He is not tracing the letters. So Gawin onabibian zine. Oh, but our letters are still plural. So we need plural agreement here. And that would be onabibian zinan. Gawin onabibian zinan ikidoinatesan. These agree to make it plural, more than one, and zine and gawin work together to make the action not happen. That is what's being negated. All right. I hope you are following along all right. Again, feel free to drop me questions in the classroom, to my email, or in the Facebook group that I'm trying to get started, but since it's a private group, the invite link only works for like 48 hours, so, and then it expires and I have to make a new invite link. So if you want to get into that, where it's just a private group with the Head Start and childcare staff, teachers, and the Najib and I, to be able to ask questions, language questions and stuff, and get answers real quick. There we go. Let's see here. So let's look at Nina-wind and Gina-wind. These ones break the pattern a little bit. I know. I don't like it when things break patterns. But these ones, it kind of helps because of their endings. They're about the same as in VAI. So let's see here. Nina-wind is us, but not you. See, it starts with mean, that's I or me. And so that means Geen is nowhere to be found. We are going to the movies, not you. We are writing it, not you, that kind of thing. So Nina-wind is us, not you. And so that makes it exclusive. It excludes Geen. The Geen being spoken to or addressed. And this looks like some form of mean verb. Since it ends in an, we're adding a person. That an expands to aan, and then Oh, sorry, I got ahead of myself. It's the verb and then plus min, but I'll expand on that in a second. And then wind is us all, including you, including the geen being spoken to. Wind, us all. And that's some form of geen plus the verb plus min. And this is basically identical to VAI verbs, such as like Kiwi cinnamon, we all are eating, or Newi cinnamon, we are eating but not you. So the only difference here is if the verb ends in an, so our VTI verb ones, if it ends in an an, such as not be un. Draw a picture. He is drawing it. Mustn't be un. If I want to say like we but not you are drawing a flower, it's our verb is we are drawing it. We but not you. Now we need to put our person. Ne. It starts with the consonant m. Ne. Mustn't be. This has to expand to ah, but we can't have n. It can't look like that. That is really hard to pronounce. It has to go consonant vowel generally. So nimazne be anmen. No, we just dropped that n. Nimazne be amen. And so that's how you say we are drawing it. We are drawing it. Flower. Flower is Wabigan. 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 I mixed up with the word for Play-Doh. Wabigan. Wabigan. I think that's the word. Now I'm blanking. I gotta look it up real quick. I'm sorry. Give me a second. See? So again, don't really talk about flowers that often, I guess. What is the word for flower? Pull it up in the dictionary. Flower. How about I share my screen and show you this? All right, share. I'm in the dictionary, Ojibwe People's Dictionary, flower. I'm gonna search it in English. Okay, Wapikwan. All right, that is correct. Had it right. Yay. But just for fun, let's say draw it. And search in English. So here we have Musnabi, but that's a VTA. That's draw him or her, paint a picture of him or her. That's animate to animate. Musnabi un. We have draw it. There's an it there. And here we see our VTI is present. And then Musnabi ige is she is drawing, or she draws or paints a picture of something, which is VAI. So you can see how they are similar. Musnabi, Musnabi, Musnabi. And the ending is what makes it a different verb type. And so as you become more familiar with the endings of verb types, you'll be able to tell what they are over time. And that's one of the cool things, is seeing that like we also have a VII version, and it is statement, like descriptive. It is drawn. Oh, what kind of picture? What kind of picture? Oh, it's a drawn picture. It's by hand, that kind of thing. So let's go back to, these are VII paradigms, and you can see here, we're talking about Ninowind and Ginowind. We've got our person sandwiching the verb with min, and that's in the positive form. So I'm going to stop screen share and bring you back to my board here. Nimas nibi amen swabikwan. We are drawing a flower. Let's say we are drawing flowers. Nimas nibi amen wabikwanan. Now here's the thing. if you look at our paradigms, which I just pulled up, sorry, I'm going to screen share again. I should have just kept it up there. This is where it breaks pattern. There is no plural object form in Ginowind and Ninowind. So you don't have to have a plural agreement when you're talking about us or we in these sentences. So we are drawing flowers. Nimmasinibi amen. Wabigwan un. So there we go. And sometimes I forget, but then I remember like it sounds kind of weird to nimmasinibi amen none. It doesn't really work. But I think recognizing that it doesn't work comes with more familiarity. So yeah, now let's make it a negative statement. Are you guys drawing flowers? No. Are you drawing flowers? Are we drawing flowers? Let's see. I'm trying to figure out how to bring an "in" a question into this. So are we drawing flowers? Ina. Nimmasinibi amen. Ina. Wabigwanan. Are we drawing flowers? Let's say we all. Are we all drawing flowers? That would be. I lost my pen. That's all. Nimmasinibi amen in Wabigwanan. Like you're trying to remember what the assignment was. Are we supposed to be drawing flowers? We've just got our ina in the second spot in the sentence. 1, 2. The ina is the spoken question mark. But no, we're not drawing flowers. Gawin. Yeah. Mazinabi. Mazinabi. Amen. Let's see. And see, that was it. Okay. So here's the thing. Now it's a Gawin statement. So we have to go back to the C, some form of C. And it's C. So right now it's just you are not drawing it. We want you or us all. So we still need min on there. So Z, just like here where that N doesn't fit next to the M, we get Yemaznibi and Z min, because the Gawin negation here wants it's greedy. It wants to be up close and personal with our verb because that's what it's making not happen. It's not negating the person, it's negating the action. So Gawin and Z make the maznabi un not happen, and we're talking about drawing it, not just drawing. We're talking about an object. So wabigwan. We are not drawing flowers. Gawin, gimaznabi and semen, wabigwan, none. That can get a little confusing, and so that's why the paradigms are super helpful, and definitely practicing them. So let's look at another one just for practice real quick. And we're gonna, this is how we sentence build. Like if someone says, are you guys drawing? And then they would answer, we, exclusive, we, not you, are drawing, yes. Something like that. Or no, we're not drawing, we are painting, for example. So I'm gonna add ginawa. Ginawa is more than one you. Ginawa is use, you all. And that is get verb wa and we get our plural agreement back here. So it's like yin awa, yin, verb, awa, and that makes it more than one you. So let's ask, are yous writing your names? Because that's an important thing in grade school. Write your name. Let's see. We know person plus time dash. And we're going to bring our time tenses back into this because it's important to practice. Did you guys write your name? Did you guys write your names? Let's go. Person plus time dash verb plus object. Your names. Oh, we're gonna have to go over that. Let's see. Here's our handy dandy box of verbs, things that we know. Person is use, ginawa, and that's ginawa, that's who we're doing, so it's get plus awa, we know that. Our time tense, did you guys write your names? Gi, time equals past tense, that's gi. I hope you can see that. Our verb, write it, is the word ojibi verb. Ojibi. Oh wait, ojibi that's he or she writes. That is the VAI. So ojibi that is the verb in VTI form. Write it. Are you guys writing your names? The word for name, that's the object. The object is the names. Name is ween, zo, win. But plural possessives or possessives. Let's start with the possessive here real quick. And right over here, ween, zo, win. Hope I'm not overwhelming you, sorry. Ween, zo, win. A name. So his or her name, or your name, say, let's make it your name. If it were my name, it'd be ne means a win. Your name, ge means a win. So it's like some form of neen or geen or ween in front. But if we're talking about more than one you, your names, plural, use your all names, then you get iwa, and then you have to add n to the end, and that's the plural that makes it more than one name for more than one person. Giwin zawin niwan. Giwin zawin niwan. Your all names. All yours names. All uses names. Trying to translate Ojibwe into English makes English grammar awful. Anyway, so I will add that in here. Giwin zawin niwan. Giwin zawin niwan. Okay. So we have our word bank. Let's plug it in to our sentence. Person. And it's a question mark. So we need in the second spot. So did you guys write your names? So ge, and then our time tense is past tense. So gigi. O should be, see, O should be on awa. We instead of O should be on, it's O should be on, it lengthens because we're adding a person, and then we need awa, ina in the second spot because this is hyphenated, so it's considered one spot here. This is number 2, ina. And then we need our names. And it's your names. Get for the possessive. Ween Zoin. Ween Zo Win. And then we need our plural possessive, Iwa. And we have plural agreements all over again. So Kikiwa should be anawa, ina, Iwinzuiniwa. Did use write your name. It needs to be plural. Otherwise, it's like you all have the same name, and that like did all of you Emily's write your name? That wouldn't work. So we get our plural, plural, plural here and here. Kiki o should be ana wan, ina kiwin zuini wan. Did use write your names. And your answer could be like, hey, yeah, get. We did write our names. And if they're answering you, which form of us would you need? So if you, on the other side of my screen there, ask me and whoever else is with me, multiple people over here, Gigio should be anawan in anyone? Did you write your name? My friend and I here would be like, hey, Ingi, o should be on, o should be amen. Yeah, Ingi o should be amen, Niwin Zuin Inan. Yes, we wrote our names. So we use Ninawin because you are not included in our answer. We're telling you what we did, not you. So let's go with the positive. Here, I'm gonna give us. And now, when we're answering, we're changing up our word bank here. We need Nina Wind. Nina Wind. That's ne awa. We need the verb. O should be on. Write it. O should be on. We need time tense. We did, so past. Ye. Past. Person, object, or no, person, verb, time, object, means the win. And how do we pluralize, or plural possessive, Nina wind, our, but not yours. Mean Zoin. Let me double check on that because I don't want to accidentally say the wrong thing. So give me a moment. I'm going to pause. So means the win, a name. Ne means the win, my name. Ne means the win in non. Our, not yours, name, which would be like my brother and I, our last name is Morgan. So Niwin Zuin Niwa Inan Morgan, our name Morgan. So it's the same name for multiple people. But now we need more than one name because my name is Stephanie and my brother's name is Alex. So Niwin Zuin Ninan in. This is our plural for more than one name these ne and on. They're the plural for the persons. So I hope that makes sense. So let's say Kikiujibianawan ina Kiwinzuiniwan. Did you write your names? And then we answer, my brother and I answer, Eya. Eya. Yes. Let's see. Ingi, find the right color here. Ingi, in, he, we did, or I did. Ingi, use my Ingi, oje, be on, because this un extends to on, wa. Oh, and we need our plural agreement here. You know what? I'm adding the color here. Plural right here. Eya and Gio should be on one. We wrote them. Let's see. Ge. Oh wait, not ge, sorry. Ne. Because we're using ne awa Nina wind. Ne zo win inon inon in. So yeah, Ingio should be on our one. New winter wind in. We did write our names. Yeah. So our plural agreement here. But what if we were like, oh, we didn't write our names. We forgot. Yeah. Done. I forgot. Ningi done. Sorry. Oh my goodness. That would be a Gawin statement. So that would be Gawin. Ingi O should be on Z. Awan. So Ingi O Gawin works together with Zine, which wants to be right next to buddy buddy with our verb. Gawin, Ingi O should be on Zine, and then we have our Awa, because Ni Awa is Nina wind. Our plural agreement, Niwin Zawin Inon in. So the only thing that changed was we did our Gawin added in here to make this not happen. Gawin Ingi Oshibian Zinawan Niwin Zawin Inon in. No, we did not write our names. So there's that. You're doing great. It's a lot. Got lots of peoples that we're going through. Now we just have to go. We did Ginawa. Use. Did use write your name with an ina question? Yes, no question marker. And now all we have to do is Winawa, which is great. Let's see. How about we say, will he remember? Will he remember? What should he remember? Trying to think of a simple sentence. So like I keep wanting to say things like, will he remember to call me? And that's a different verb type. And will he remember to bring it? And that's A form plus B form, and we're not there yet. So let's see. Will he remember? Will he remember the candy? Let's pretend he is bringing the candy. except for we're talking about we know what, so more than one he or she. Let's say, will they remember the candy? That's kind of not a great sentence example because technically to be like correct, I really should be saying, will they remember to bring the candy? But that's going to be too complicated of a phrase, but I just want to give an example of we know what. So let's let this go away. We're going to talk about we know what, and that's them, theys, more than one he or she, theys, and that is oh, somehow oh, this awa. Pretty simple, similar to ginawa and winoa. Still has the awa ending with the plural agreement is present. So will they remember the candy? Let's see, verb plus ina in the second spot plus object. And then we've got, no, I got a color code. Color coding helps a lot of times. So I know it's like, it's just a lot. Person. This plural person. So let's do that. Remember it. McQueen done. I'm pretty sure that's the word. Remember. McQueen done. Remember it. Yep. Recall, remember, come to think of, McQueen done. Where did my Zoom go? Lost the screen. Gosh. Okay, here we are. Let's see. McQueen done starts with an M. We're gonna give ourselves a word box over here. Verb, McQueen done. Remember it. Person, we know what. And then we know what. That's O. Wa. Candy. Zienzabakwadut. Sweet little thing. Candy. Candy. Zin. Ze. Ba. Wa. Moots. Let's see. So let's put our verb in first. Me. When. Done. Remember it. Our object is Zin. Ze. Ba. Wa. Moots. And then let's grab our people. So McQueen Zinzabakudut. Remember the candy. So that's a command to one person. Now we're adding our person, and it's Winawa. Winawa. O plus awa. So will he? That's future. And it's a question mark. So 1, 2, we're gonna add ina. Should not be ina. Ina. That's your question marker. Let's see. Oh, and what's your time tense for future? It's not ye. Our time tense would be we, the will or want to, future. It could also be ga. That future tense works too. Oga or owi. So we're gonna go with we. Owi, McQueen, Don. Remember it expands. We gotta get rid of this, make more room. Da. because we're adding a person. And then well, we've got in so Owe McQueen Donawa in the Zinzibakwaduns. Will they remember the candy? The singular piece of candy? I guess Zinzibakwaduns could technically mean either, but let's say we want to make it plural agreement. So Zinzibakwaduns son, we'd be like this. So Owe McQueen Donawan Ina Zinzibakwaduns son. Will they remember the candies? And that's how you do we know on. And our, like, if it were a Gowing statement, like they will not remember the candy, Gowing, Owe McQueen done. Remember, it shortens back to un. Then we get our Z in here. Zine, or this time instead of Z, it's zine in VTIs. And we have wa, and our plural agreements. So Gawin Owe McQueen Zinawanin Dinzabakwa. No, they will not remember the candies. And that's about it. That is our VTI1 verbs. And they are the most common form of VTIs, recall. But they're the only of the VTIs that have like, oh, you have to expand the AN to AAN. Like the other VTIs don't have that like odd change that you have to make to the verb ending. So after this, it gets easier. So I hope you aren't too overwhelmed by this. Feel free to watch it over and over again. Ask me questions, and definitely go through the transparent language and practice taking a look at the document that is companion to this lesson, and look at the VTI verbs and maybe practice running them through our persons, our paradigms. I would do that just for practice, like, oh, I'm gonna make 5 sentences that are positive A form and go through all of my persons. Now I'm going to make 5 Gowing statement A form statements, and now I'm going to make 5 questions using different persons and try and build little conversations like we did here when it was did yous all write your names? And then we were like, yes, we did write our names, or no, we did not write our names. So like that was a back and forth conversation because you're changing persons. Did you remember to write your name? No, I did not remember to write my name. That kind of back and forth. So give it a practice, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.